Hello.
Hi.
Hi.
Is that you?
Hello.
Yes, Masa. Oh, who is that? Is this Rick's computer now?
Hello.
Hi there.
Hello. Can anyone
Yes.
hear me?
Yes, we can hear you.
Hello. Can anyone hear me?
Yes, we can hear you.
Hi, it's Miria. Rick will be on in just a moment. Just wanted to test, make sure you could hear.
Yes, that's wonderful. Thank you. We will.
Okay.
We'll be getting started in 5 minutes.
Okay, great. Thank you.
Okay. Thank you.
Okay. Bye.
And just wanted to welcome everybody who is signing on now. We will be getting started right at 1 o'clock today. So thank you for your patience. All right, it's 1 o'clock, so why don't we get started? Massa, would you like to, yes, thank you. So good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to the first ever Women as Transit Operators information session. Thank you for taking the time to participate this afternoon. My name is Alicia Evans, and I will be the MC during this session. We'd like to open today's session with a land acknowledgement. The land acknowledgement is considered a first step to acknowledge and honor the First Peoples that have lived here for thousands of years and the enduring presence of Indigenous peoples. So giving thanks, respect, and honoring the land and ancestors was and continues to be a common practice within Indigenous communities. The process of showing appreciation and giving thanks has a long history on these lands. Land acknowledgements are a small yet significant way to show respect and acknowledge the presence of Indigenous peoples past and present. So today, let's take a moment to acknowledge that the land we are meeting on is on the traditional territory of many nations, including the Mississaugas of the Credit, the Anishinaabe, the Chippewa, the Haudenosaunee, and the Wendat peoples, and is now home to many diverse First Nations, Inuit, and Métis. We also acknowledge that Toronto is covered by Treaty 13 with the Mississaugas of the Credit. So before I review the agenda, there are a few housekeeping items to address. So we are using the WebEx webinar platform for this session. We have many people registered and many people logging on today. So all attendees have been muted and will be muted for the duration of the session. That means we will invite your participation through the Q&A box. You can access this feature by clicking or tapping on the Q&A button at the bottom or side of your screen. And you can use this feature to submit a question for the TTC panel. No other attendees will be able to see the questions that you submit. Now, we know that technological problems can and do happen, so we appreciate your patience with us. If you are having any issues, please feel free to also use the Q&A feature to ask for help. We do have staff monitoring this throughout the meeting, and they will do their best to help you out. And if you are listening to the meeting only through the phone-in option, you can reach out by email to jobs@ttc.ca after the presentation to ask your questions, and we'll give you this email again at the end of the session. The presentation and discussion today are closed captioned. If you would like to view the captioning, please open the multimedia viewer, and you can access this through the button at the bottom of your screen. It should be right near the Q&A feature. This webinar is also being recorded and will be available for viewing online within a couple of days following the event. For the 2-hour session today, the TTC has prepared an exciting lineup of speakers to walk through the different aspects of the operator position. Today's presentation will begin with opening remarks from TTC's Chief Executive Officer, Rick Leary. Massa Rajvani, Manager of Talent Acquisition for the Transit Operator Program, will then review the job requirements and outline the benefits for the operator position. Don Arbo, an instructor from the Operations Training Center, will review the operator training program. We will then have Romaine Tobin, our Diversity and Human Rights, from the Diversity and Human Rights Department, and Deborah Lyon, the head of streetcar transportation, to provide insight on career progression. Elise McAdam and Amanda Coward, operators at the TTC, will share their experiences of the position. Marika Fraser, manager of the Diversity and Outreach Program, will speak about diversity at the TTC. And we will then hear from Pauline Kirkpatrick, one of TTC's outreach partners, followed by an open forum Q&A session and closing remarks. Now, as I mentioned earlier, for the Q&A session, I will invite you to submit your questions using the Q&A feature. While you are welcome to submit them at any time, you may want to hold off until the open forum, as your questions may be answered by one of the guest speakers during the presentation. Staff will respond live to questions as time allows, and any questions not addressed during the session will receive a response from TTC staff following the event. So I would now like to introduce TTC's Chief Executive Officer, Rick Leary, to provide opening remarks. Rick, you're muted. Just unmute yourself. There you
That
go.
was embarrassing. Thank you, Alicia. I appreciate it. This is a great day for the TTC. Again, good afternoon, everyone, and I am Rick Leary. I'm the Chief Executive Officer for the TTC. It's a pleasure to be here today as one of your speakers at this virtual information session. You know, while the event is open to everyone, I tell you that it will provide you a special opportunity to hear from diverse women about their own experiences of working here at the TTC. So if you're interested in a role, it'll give you some insight into the life of an operator so you can make some informed decisions about your pursuit of a possible career here with us. But what I would like to do first is I want to start out by thanking many of the staff here at the TTC for all the hard work in putting this program together. You know, we have talent management, our marketing and customer experience staff, corporate communications, as well as IT services for making this event possible. We have 3,000 people on today because of the work that everyone's done to make this event possible. And just so you know, there's another 932 individuals shortlisted, and that's why we're putting an event on again on December 10th. So with that, I want to thank the staff, but I also think it's important that I thank our community partners, you know, who have helped us promote this event. It couldn't have happened without their support. You know, our large efforts are largely successful thanks to the work of our community. You know, and I want to say a special thanks to you as well for taking time to join us this afternoon and showing an interest in the TTC. So thank you for that. I want to bring a special greetings as well from the TTC Chair, Jay Robinson, as well as the entire board, many of them who may be watching right now, as well as the Deputy CEO of the TTC, Kirsten Watson. You know, I tell you that as the CEO of the TTC, it gives me great pleasure to talk to you about the TTC, as well as what it means to the city of Toronto. You know, because any serious discussion about the city of Toronto includes a serious discussion about the TTC and public transit moving people. Just a bit of note, did you realize 100,000 people moved to this great city last year? So you can imagine what it takes to move people throughout the city, as well as the GTHA. You know, so I'm going to give you a couple of quick notes that I always like the facts about this organization, which I find amazing. Next year, we celebrate our 100th anniversary, dating back to 1921. They were visionaries back then when they looked at building public transit for the development of a city. And you think about the fact it was just 1948 when they decided to put a subway tunnel underground. And if you saw pictures of the city in 1948, it was the ability to put more service on the street level. But again, they're visionaries. It's about long-term planning and developing this incredible city. You know, back in 2019, the TTC carried nearly 530 million customers. And another bit of information is the Toronto Transit Commission is the third largest transit system in all of North America. Only Mexico City and New York City carry more customers than the Toronto Transit System. And we're proud that every 22 months, we carry 1 billion customers. Just a bit of information. And did you know that 85% of all those that take public transit in the GTHA, it's taken right here in the city of Toronto on the TTC. And that means that we're carrying, now there's a pre-COVID number now, but 1.7 million customer journeys were taking place every day. And we know that we'll be back there. Crazy number. You know, we're working real hard to build a world-class transit system here in Toronto, and not just for the next 5 years. We're visionaries as well, and we're looking out the next 25 years. What are we doing? We want to build a system that's more accessible, more efficient, more flexible. We're looking to be transformative, you know, innovative, integrated, you know, a more reliable system, and most importantly, more inclusive. So why would you want to work at the TTC? Let me tell you why. You know, I look at this as an incredible working environment, and employees here have a high regard, individual team efforts. It's a great organization, great people. You know, many of us call this a second home, for instance. We just give bonds that you built this organization. I'd let you know it has amazing benefits and a very strong pension plan as well. You get to work outdoors and interact with the public. You know, we're looking for those that love to engage in customer service, because that's the business that we're in. We move people who are in the customer service business. And best of all, I tell you, you get to work with the best transit system in the world. It's an incredible place. My colleagues addressing you here this afternoon are going to offer you a variety of perspectives and personal experiences for you to consider and take away with you. But what I do want you to know is that when I started at the TTC 7 years ago, I joined because we really set out to undertake one of the most substantial transformations that I've ever seen, the large transit system. I've been in this industry a long time now, 37 years. Where'd the time go? Everything from modernizing our fleets. You're aware of our new low-floor streetcars and our new environmentally friendly buses, as well as the nice new trains. They're only a number of years old here on Line 1. And there's a lot more to come in the coming years. It's amazing what's happening. But we're also focusing on transforming our culture. Respecting and celebrating diversity is something I've long believed is essential in the public transit agency. The result will be a workforce that better reflects the diverse city that we serve and, in turn, enhance our relationships with our customers. Just a point to note, I love telling people this, that 51% of those residents in the city of Toronto weren't even born in Canada. And the same number, a similar number, I should say, identify as racialized. Yet, in 2019, less than 16% of our 16,000 employee workforce identified as women. That's really something to think about. We've begun our efforts, though, to change the face of the TTC by focusing on gender diversity. And as we do this, I'd let you know that we'll continue to work towards employing more people who identify with underrepresented groups at all levels of this organization. And an important element of our new diversity plan is taking these steps like this afternoon and having this discussion with you to attract a more diverse workforce and to put the structures in place to really support that objective. To hold the TTC and myself accountable, we have set ourselves a goal of working towards having at least 4 of every 10 new operators hired in 2021 as identified as a woman. I believe it's possible, and I believe it starts here today. But thank you with that. When I look at this city again, this is an incredible city that we live in and we work in. And if I use the city of Toronto as a benchmark, around half of the residents and those that take and ride the TTC identify as female. That's significantly more than, again, the 16% that we have working here at the TTC. So I would say to you, that's why diversity matters here at the TTC. This is an exciting event today. I'm looking forward to the next hour and 45 minutes hearing and seeing, and I hope you enjoy it as well. I look forward to seeing you in the future. Alicia, I'm going to pass it back to you. Thank you very much for this opportunity to speak.
Wonderful. Thank you so much, Rick. I'd like to now pass it over to Masa Rajvani, Manager of Talent Acquisition for the Transit Operator Program, who will now introduce you to the operator position.
Good afternoon, everyone, and thank you for attending the first ever Women as Transit Operators information session. We're here today to give you some more information about the TTC and show you why joining the TTC as a transit operator is only the first stop on your new career path. We invited some really great women to come and speak with us today about working at the TTC and sharing their experiences, their good times, and some of their challenges. Throughout our presentation, you will begin to understand why this organization is continually recognized as a top employer in the GTA and Canada. Throughout, transit operator is the most recruited position at the TTC. Over 40% of the employees are operators, and they play a key role in keeping people moving throughout the city of Toronto. Our operators are assigned to one of 4 different modes of transportation, to include bus, streetcar, subway, wheeltrans, and in the near future, light rail transit, with the opening of the crosstown. How you are chosen for a mode depends on the TTC's hiring requirements. However, the majority of our hires begin on bus. So what does it take to be a transit operator? The minimum requirements for this position are to have prior frontline face-to-face customer service experience, a non-probationary Ontario driver's license, Class G in good standing, a good driving record, and a grade 12 secondary school diploma or GED or its recognized equivalent. And more in-depth information can be found on our ttc.ca/jobs website. So what are we offering? Our operators are amongst the best paid in the province, and the salary is negotiated by the union with a paid training program. As a unionized member of the local 113 Amalgamated Transit Union, your start rate is at $27.69 per hour, and you will receive annual salary increases until you reach the top of the rate, which is currently at $36.16 an hour. Our comprehensive benefits package includes group life insurance, health, dental, and vision care. All full-time regular employees contribute to an employer-matched pension plan. These benefits become available to you after 6 months of full-time regular service. Our operators play a key role in delivering an essential service to the City of Toronto. We are always on the grow, and despite the pandemic, this is a very exciting time to start to be a part of an ongoing modernization taking place at the TTC. We also offer opportunities for growth. Lots of transit operators choose to stay within the operations branch, where they become operations supervisors, transit control dispatchers, and station supervisors, just as an example, and others may pursue different career paths in a different field altogether and move into positions like training instructors, divisional managers, or even into our skilled trades departments. These options are endless. We offer in-house training and career development programs, and we have career and education advisors available to help our employees with resumes and interview preparation and provide consultation to help you reach your potential. Thanks, Alicia.
Okay, thank you, Masa. And just a note for all the speakers, if you could, if you don't have a headset, if you could try and speak as close to your mic as possible, that would be helpful. Thank you. So now I'm going to turn it over to Dawn Arbo, Manager of Rail Transportation from the Operations Training Center, who will review the operator training programs.
Hey everyone, good afternoon. My name is Dawn and I'm currently the acting rail manager in the Operations Training Center. I started my journey with the TTC approximately 22 and a half years ago as a bus operator, and eventually I progressed my career through different avenues, which led me to my current role that I'm in right now. So among my responsibilities is managing 38 professional rail instructors. I love the role that I'm in now as I get to watch people grow and succeed. I'm pleased to be speaking to all of you today about what to expect from our training team once you've arrived and are hired as an operator. There are 5 transit modes as operator that you can be trained on, such as bus, subway, streetcar, wheel trams, and the LRT in the near future. All of our programs are between 25 and 30 days, along with paid training. So first, we have the bus initial training. It's duration of 25 days. The course consists of day and night driving. There's nightly homework and written practical tests. After day 16, you will be driving a bus on various routes in revenue service, 5 days with divisional trainers, both AM and PM shifts for a full shift to get the full experience of an operator. Final written test and practical driving test to end the course with a CZ license attached. Woohoo! So 2 subway initial training we have is a duration of 27 and 29 days. The course consists of both AM and PM timeframes, nightly homework, written tests, and practical tests with an 80% required to pass. Training consists of learning how to operate and guard the train and how to fix disablements. A mandatory track walk is completed with train passing by you at 15 kilometers. 5 days are provided, divisional training to get the full experience of a subway operator. We also have streetcar initial training. That's a duration of 25 days. And the course consists of both AM and PM time frames as well. Nightly homework, written tests, practical tests, 80% required to pass again. Operating a streetcar on various routes during AM and PM rush hour, disablements taught and tested. 5 days are provided for divisional training to get the full experience of a subway operator, and final written and practical operating tests to be completed at the end of the course. Then we have the Wheel-Trans operator initial training is a duration of 30 days. The first 13 days of the program consist of MTO material with the aim of bringing the trainees up to required class of license. Upon completion of the MTO requirements, they are then introduced to the TTC Wheel-Trans specific curriculum, like the SBDIB School Bus Driver Improvement course. And there's also a written and practical test within this training. The day begins at 6 a.m. till 2 p.m. and it's from Monday to Friday. On the second Friday of training, there is night driving, that component from 3 p.m. to 11, and there's homework requirements on a nightly basis. And then we get to the LRT. The duration is estimated to be approximately 20 to 25 days, and the course will run from Monday to Friday, both AM and PM timeframes. And then lastly is safety. So we take safety seriously in all of our training, in all aspects of operation and maintenance. It's kind of what we're known for. A safe and healthy workplace protects our workers from injury as well as illness, reduces absenteeism and turnover, increases productivity and quality, and it raises the employee morale, and it reduces costs. And that's me, everybody.
Thank you very much, Dawn. We now have Romaine Tobin, followed by Deborah Lyon, who will speak about their experiences with career progression at the TTC. So I'll turn it over to Romaine to start.
Hello, everyone. My name is Romaine Tobin, as mentioned. I currently work in the diversity department as a diversity consultant. I have been here at the TTC for 14 years. Started out as a bus operator and drove for 4 years. Then moved on to becoming a route supervisor. Also held that role for 4 years and moved on to being an instructor. As an instructor, I was responsible for training new bus operators. I was also privileged to be the lead instructor responsible for training new route supervisors. I then went on to become an employee development specialist, and now in my current role, I'm a diversity consultant tasked with developing a formal mentorship program for the TTC. So the TTC was more than and is more than just a job for me. By working in various departments, and especially as an instructor, where I cross paths with a lot of employees across the organization, I can honestly say that this is my second home. The people here at the TTC, they are my second family. I like to say, as Rick mentioned, that I grew up in this organization, both professionally and personally. I enjoyed every moment of my time as a bus operator. I was able to interact with the community and meet a lot of different people. I learned a lot about people and building relationships. As an operator, you'll wear many hats. You'll be a driver, you'll be a confidant, a customer service representative, and the list goes on. The shift work at the TTC varies. As you all know, the TTC operates 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, 365 days of the year. I was able to make this work to my advantage, rather. So one of the reasons I took the job here at the TTC was to pay for my education. As a bus operator, I had that option to work nights, and I intentionally chose that, night shift. So that I could attend my lectures and my classes at school during the days and then come to work at night. To be honest, I really rather work in nights as an operator because I found the pace was so different. You know, it's a lot slower than rush hour traffic. Plus, I could run my errands, go grocery shopping, whatever I needed to during the days when it was less busy. So my husband's also a bus operator at the TTC, and he works nights. You can truly call us a TTC family. But nights work best for our family, or for him rather, but for our family on a whole, because we have 2 young kids, and before COVID, we basically, our arrangement was he would take the kids to school and then come home and get some sleep before going to work, and I'd pick the kids up from school. So while my friends were busy complaining about daycare and daycare fees, which some of them they're paying in excess of $2,000 per month, we never had that issue because we would work opposite shifts to ensure that someone was always home with the kids. So one of the things I really miss about being an operator is that weekly paycheck. Because I'm no longer an operator, I'm considered a staff employee. As a staff employee, I get paid biweekly. But when you're a bus operator or an operator in general, you get paid every week. So I love checking in my account and seeing that weekly paycheck. I also love taking a lot of vacations. I love to travel, and thanks to TTC, before COVID, my family and I, we were taking at least 2 to 3 vacations per year. So we would jump on a plane and explore other countries. I would say the 2 perks that attracted me to the TTC was the fact that they would pay for my education and also the pension plan. So as Maza mentioned, we do have a great pension plan. The previous organization I worked for before the TTC did not have a pension plan. So coming to the TTC and hearing that they had one of the best pension plans was very exciting for me. The TTC matches 100% of your pension contribution. The TTC had so many great benefits, and as you heard earlier, and I appreciate that the TTC offers numerous career possibilities. For example, if you wanted to later go into engineering, we have an engineering department. If you wanted to get into safety, we have a safety department. The possibilities are really endless. You can come in as a bus operator like I did and create your own career path and make it happen. And I'm here to help you if you need help also in that path. So there are many challenges. I shouldn't say many challenges, but there are some challenges when I first started. One of the challenges I had as a bus operator was learning all the routes. To overcome this challenge, I invested in myself. So on my days off, I would spend sometimes 5 to 6 hours just writing the various routes with other operators and writing down the name of the street. Just in case I was ever tasked with doing that specific route, I knew where I was going. So prior to the TTC, I worked 3 jobs that did not make one. I wanted to change my life. I wanted to be in control of my life, to live the lifestyle that I wanted. I prayed for a change and applied to the TTC. After my 4th attempt, I finally received the call for an interview. And I remember going into that interview so scared. And one of the panelists on the session, Marika Frazier, she was on my interview panelist at the time, or panel at the time. And she was so pleasant during the interview and really made me feel a little bit more calm and, made the interview process a little bit easier. And thanks to her good judgment, here I am today, almost 14 years later. So I strongly encourage you all to take a leap of faith and join the TTC. You will be happy you did. Thank you very much.
Thanks, Romaine. I'll turn it over to Deborah now.
Hi, good afternoon, everyone, and thanks for joining us here today. So similar to Romaine, I'm just going to speak a little bit to my experience and my work, my progression throughout my career here at the TTC. So I've just begun my 22nd year here with this organization. I started my career as a subway operator. I then progressed to an auxiliary instructor and subway supervisor. Over the years, I've held progressively responsible roles. I became a divisional assistant manager in 2012, and then progressed to manager for both subway divisions, so Wilson Division and Danforth Division, which encompasses lines 1, 2, 3, and 4. Now I'm a transportation department head for the streetcar transportation department. This organization has provided me with a myriad of opportunities, and I feel so fortunate for the career that I have developed here at the TTC. I remember feeling overwhelmed when I found out I got the job as an operator because I knew it was going to change my life. As a single mom, working for the TTC afforded me the opportunity to provide for my son, and I was so grateful to have such a stable job with great benefits, wages, and a pension plan. Working for the TTC also provided me with opportunities to do things I never thought I would or even could. I couldn't have imagined then the path my career would eventually take. I still remember my first day on my own as a new subway operator after training was complete. I could not believe they were letting me drive this huge train with all these people on board. It was exciting, and I encountered so many different scenarios each and every day. I enjoyed being part of something so big and so important. Public transit is such a vital part of our city, and getting people to and from work, to and from school and appointments, or just getting them where they needed to go made me feel like I was making a contribution to my city. Working with the public I found to be very rewarding, and I really did love being a subway operator. It was a lot of fun, it was challenging, it was exciting, and every day was a new day. One of the benefits I found when I was an operator was the ability to choose my hours of work and my days off. I was able to choose work around my son's schedule, which was really helpful, particularly when he was younger. That's not to say there weren't challenges, there certainly were. I did work many holidays, but in the end, our workaround was to celebrate on a different day if that was required. And like anything worthwhile in life, there's always a bit of give and take, right? For me, the positives have always outweighed any challenges that I've encountered. And what I thought was a great job turned into an exciting career for me. When I became aware of opportunities, I started applying for other positions within the organization, and before I knew it, a whole other world opened up for me. I am proud of the path that I've forged for myself here at the TTC, and proud to say that it's been a part of new initiatives and transit growth within our great city. Starting out as a transit operator for the TTC, you will find that the possibilities truly are endless, and I agree with Romaine. Take the leap, join our organization, and you won't regret it. Thank you for your time.
Thank you so much, Deborah. So before we move on to the next speaker, let's take a moment and learn more about those of you who are joining as participants today. So in a moment, you will see a question pop up in the poll panel. So I'm going to ask Catherine to get the poll live. There it is. So on your right of your screen, you will see a poll, and the question is, do you have a full Ontario G-Class license or higher? So please take the minute now and respond to this. And we'll give you the minute here. So do you have a full Ontario G-Class license or higher? Okay, we'll give you another 10 seconds or so, and then we'll see what everyone says. Okay, so we're going to get the results here in just a moment. All right. Catherine, are you able to share the results? There we go. Okay, so we had 970 out of just over 1,300 people said yes. 106 said no, and then there were a few people who didn't answer. Okay, so that's great to hear. Now we're going to close that there, and we'll come back to another poll question in just a bit. And then now I think we've got a video now. So before we press play on that video, this is about a 4-minute video that we'd like to share with you. I just want to let you know that for those of you who are using your phones to access the audio for the session, you unfortunately won't be able to hear the video, and apologies for that. It is a weird glitch in the system. However, it is, I believe the video is captioned, and the video will also be available on the website if you would like to view it following the event. So I'm going to turn it over to Masa to press play on the video now. Okay, so as we're getting set up with the presentation again, I do want to acknowledge that we did get a number of comments from people who were having trouble seeing and also, or hearing and also seeing the video. So for those of you who were not able to see it or hear it, we will have a link available so that you can see it after the event. So what I'm going to do now is turn it over to transit operators Elise McAdam and Amanda Coward to each speak to their experience of being an operator at the TTC. So over to you, Elise.
Hello, everyone. I'm so honored to work with this amazing panel of people. I got to give it back to you. You did a wonderful job putting this together, and I'm proud that you asked me to be part of it. To the public, my name is Elise McAdam, and I've been with the Toronto Transit Commission for just a bit over 4 years. Today, I'm here to share with you a bit of what it entails to be a transit operator. We all know, as women, we wear so many different labels. We're mothers, wives, daughters, astronauts, athletes, and we could add to that list the possibility of a proud TTC employee. The TTC operates on a 24-hour shift. It's a transit company, which means welcome to shift life. If you're not familiar with shift life, it will take some getting used to. We choose our shift according to our seniority. Being new means that you will choose last. As the day changes, as your seniority changes, it will increase your chances of choosing different shifts. Shifts can start from early as 3 a.m. or as late as 9:30 p.m. Working night means that you'll be sleeping in the day, which can be different for some people. My favorite shift is a split shift. I usually start about 5 a.m. to 10 a.m. Then I'll have a 3-hour break, and I'll go home and I'll make dinner and come back and finish the rest of my shift, which roughly is about 2 to 5 p.m. And that way, when I go home in the evening, dinner is made and I get to spend time with my family. That works best for me. You get to change your shifts every 6 weeks, and you can choose the days off and the shifts that best suits your lifestyle. As a new employee, you will have to learn to balance family and work life, which means putting systems in place to take care of your personal responsibilities. Learning to compartmentalize what's most important will become a very big part of your life. Although you will make sacrifices from time to time, like sometimes missing out on special events at the beginning, but you will know that your hard work and dedication will allow you to have a better quality of life and have a rewarding future. The TTC has a 10-month probationary period set in place where they will monitor you by having a supervisor right along with you from time to time to see how you're progressing. It's imperative that you show up on time for work. For example, if your report to work time is 5:43 a.m., you can report a bit earlier, but never a minute later. Routes must be sent out on time. After your probationary period is finished, nothing should change. You should still operate on a safe daily basis. The TTC operates on a 24/7, 365 schedule, which means we don't shut down. Be it a blizzard out there or a pandemic out there, we're out there to support and move our city. You also have to pay attention to weather and drive according to weather condition or traffic condition. Yes, we do run on a schedule, but safety is always first. Operators know that there are 5 seasons in Canada: winter, spring, summer, fall, and construction. You are the one behind the wheel, which means you're responsible for making adjustments according to your surrounding condition. Never rush. We are paid to move the public, and we do so safely. We're customer-centric, working on the front line in the community. We respond to customer inquiries. We're expected to know information about routing, scheduling, and connecting routes. Customer will always have directional questions, and it is our duty to the public to have the necessary information they're looking for. Part of your responsibility is to provide assistance to passengers with language barriers, accessibility needs as well. When you're asked a question and language is a barrier, we look for keywords in the customer's question. How amazing it is to live in such a multicultural city. Even though I only speak English, I have never had a situation where I could have never helped a customer because of language barrier. I sometimes ask other customers who speak the same language to assist. You will also have customers with accessibility needs. Part of your responsibility is to aid in the loading and unloading of customers with accessibility devices. And it's essential that everyone be treated with the respect and dignity we all deserve. Safety is above all else. The TTC will train you to become a safe operator. If you follow what's taught to you and don't deviate and become complacent, you will deliver a safe shift. You're taught all the defensive driving skills you will ever need to become a safe operator and a road user. When in doubt, always ask, never assume. If you feel unsure or unsafe about a situation, you can get in touch with transit control. They're there to support you to have a safe shift, be it morning, noon, or night. They're always there at your call. With the TTC, the sky is the limit. It's just an amazing career of amazing opportunities. You can do it. You've got this. Have a great and spectacular day. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Elise. I'm going to turn it over to Amanda now.
Greetings, everyone. Sending warmth and safety during this current pandemic crisis. Foremost, I would like to thank our internal dignitaries at the TTC for this privilege of sharing my transit operating experience with you. I have had the honor of serving thousands of diverse individuals and families in my community, and it has been deeply gratifying to be affected and to affect the lives on this scale. I have always wanted to work in my community. I grew up on James Street, and with the love for driving in my blood, I decided after graduating York University in 2014, working for the transit system would be the best medium. I entered the TTC at age 23, so adjusting to shift work and seniority-based schedules were challenging. I was exposed to a variety of routes and schedules, and it was very easy to find what I liked from what I didn't like. I have met many people in disbelief that a young woman like me can handle such a big vehicle. But in saying that, many commend me on how smooth and timely the ride is. The biggest adjustment for me thus far has been finding a work-life balance with children. I came into the company with no dependents, and now at age 29, I have 2. The company has been very helpful in accommodating the challenges that I face from time to time, making the work-life balance more manageable. The greatest benefit as my role as an operator, well, what it's provided me is that I've inspired others not only through representation and service, as I am African and Native American, but it has changed my character as well. The more people you encounter, the more valuable experiences become. And for me, this meant the broadening of my own attitude for life, and I strive to become more humble. I have been able to provide my children with the quality of life, and it has been filled with opportunities, and I'm grateful for that. Overall, I strive to become a working partner of the community, ensuring the public gets to their places of destination safely. And in receiving a return, I get an overwhelming sense of appreciation. My commitment has always been to help, and I'm currently standing in the perfect position to do so. With all my gratitude, I thank you.
Thank you so much, Amanda. So we have a couple other polls here for you. So we have 2 questions this time. So in a moment, you should see the polls pop up. So the first is, have you worked in a customer service role? And the second is the session helping you to understand the role better? So I'm going to give you a minute to answer both of those questions. Okay, another 10 seconds if you haven't had a chance to answer the questions. So the first is, have you worked in a customer service role? And the second is the session helping you understand the role better? Okay, so the poll is closed, and we'll just give it a moment while the responses pop up. So we've had a good share of the people who responded to the question say yes, they have worked in a customer service role. And we had, oh, that's great results as well, for is the session helping you to understand the role better? So for those of you who did say no, I would encourage you to take the chance to ask your questions using the Q&A section, the Q&A feature, sorry, and we will address them shortly. Okay, so thank you for responding to those. So we now have Marika Frazier, Manager of the Diversity and Outreach Program, to speak about diversity at the TTC. So I'll turn it over to Marika.
Good afternoon, everybody. Again, my name is Marika, and it's a pleasure to be here facing all of you, a few hundred of my closest friends. As the Manager of Outreach and Diversity, I'm clearly the subject matter expert at this forum, along with some of my colleagues, because we do all work in the city of Toronto. One of the things I'd like to start off with is just share a little bit about my career path as well. You've heard from some of my colleagues about the journeys they've taken. Mine's a little bit different. I started at the TTC more than 26 years ago, started as a summer student. I worked in the Wheel-Trans department where I was a reservationist, and that role required me to book trips for customers, door-to-door trips for our Wheel-Trans customers. And then following my schooling and getting my university degree, I was hired on as a temporary employee to cover maternity leave. I eventually applied to a number of other roles and secured a permanent position as a schedule writer at Wheel-Trans, and that job entailed actually booking the trips for those Wheel-Trans riders. That is now being done by a computer system, so that role is no longer. I then moved into a position in the vehicle engineering department and the safety departments before finally landing in human resources and talent management, where I currently work and enjoy my day-to-day. As you can see, just by outlining all of our paths here on the panel and mine as well, a lot of opportunity at this organization. I'm here to talk a little bit more about diversity and inclusion, and our CEO started the conversation and getting you ready to hear what I have to share with you by sharing how proud he is, how supportive he is, and how committed he is to our journey. Diversity and inclusion at the TTC, they're top priorities. And as you can guess by my job title, and as I've mentioned earlier, they're definitely a priority for myself as well. To be sure that everyone understands what I mean when I say diversity and inclusion, I'm going to give you a brief example or a definition. So diversity, those are traits or characteristics that make people unique, differences that we can recognize in one another. Inclusion, behaviors or social norms that ensure that people feel welcomed, feel respected, appreciated, and valued. Two very different things, but they both relate to one another. We provide service to diverse customers, so it is important that we represent the customers that we serve. Rick Leary, our CEO, he mentioned that earlier. I'm just reiterating. It has been proven in general that a company that has people with a variety of backgrounds and skills will generate new ideas and help companies to grow while improving relationships with customers. Despite these very challenging times amid COVID-19, there is a lot of expansion happening here at the TTC. In addition, many of our employees are eligible to retire, and this will lead to numerous employment opportunities. We have opportunities on our job board now, and more will come in the coming new year. As we hire new employees, we are paying attention to diversity and inclusion because, again, it's good for business and it's also good for our community. The TTC has won awards as a top 100 employer and a top diversity employer. We've also been voted as one of the best places for young people in Canada. But despite all this, only 16% of our employees identify as women. And again, repeating what Rick said earlier, more than half of Torontonians identify as women. The TTC wants to improve. We want to improve the overall makeup of the organization's workforce or employees so that we are representative of the city. We want to attract talent and skills from underrepresented groups. And women are one of those underrepresented groups. The organization is making an effort to move the TTC to the forefront as we refresh our diversity and inclusion roadmap and develop strategies that help us to reach our goal. The TTC is restructured for success. As you can see, our CEO, again, he's passionate about this journey, but my job title, my role, is a part of that journey. We're also in the process of currently recruiting a Chief Diversity and Culture Officer, as well as a Director of Diversity to help us transform this organization and move us in the right direction. This event, it is an example of how we're refocusing our outreach and hiring strategies and taking a targeted approach at moving in the right direction. We're seeking gender equity. Pre-COVID, the TTC would participate in numerous job fairs and information sessions that were hosted by our community partners in schools. I did attend many of those, if not more than 95% of those events. And when I did, many women did express a desire to work at the TTC, but often wanted more information about what the transit operator job was really like. As you heard throughout the session, the transit operator job is very important. It's an important role in the organization as a whole. And it is a place where diverse employees can have fulfilling careers and positively affect the community. To further ensure that we're building a workforce that reflects the city's diversity, one of the things that TTC does a lot of is collect data. Following this event, you will be given a survey that will help us to understand the effectiveness of our outreach and the marketing of this specific event if you apply to a job at the TTC. A similar survey will be offered to you. Again, it's to measure the effectiveness of how we advertise our positions and our jobs. Know that recruiters and hiring managers will not be able to see or identify you or your responses. That's very important. When hired to the TTC, we will again ask a new employee to complete a voluntary questionnaire to capture similar information. All of the information that we gather from these surveys and questionnaires, they will allow the TTC to better understand its workforce and assist when developing policies, programs designed to ensure that we're equitable in terms of our treatment of our employees. Taking these surveys will always be voluntary at every stage. just like they were on the live polling that you were given a few moments ago. But the information, it's important because it provides us with information and data to help us move the company in the right direction, will help us remove barriers and support employees, as well as help to shape the TTC into an organization that we can all be proud of. That's really all I want to share right now. I'll probably be back on at the very end, but thank you so much for your time and patience, and hopefully you're enjoying everything so far.
Thank you so much, Marika. We've had a few questions from people who may not be able to stay for the entire session today, and that's okay. The session is being recorded, and you'll be provided with a link to watch the recording again after. So if you have to leave early, thank you so much for taking the time to join us today, and be sure to check out the rest of the presentation when you can. So now I'm going to pass it along to Pauline Kirkpatrick, Manager of Job Development with Access Employment, a TTC outreach partner.
Hi, everyone. Thank you so much for having me here today. What an inspiring and insightful session. I know I myself have learned a lot, and it was so awesome to hear from women in the role. I'm here today to speak a little bit about community supports in regards to employment and how these supports can connect job seekers in learning about opportunities in the community, such as this Women as Transit Operators information session. After hearing this presentation, there may be some individuals who are wondering, what are my next steps? How do I continue to stay connected to employment opportunities in the community? Or maybe you're not sure how to continue your job search, don't have a resume, perhaps you do not have the skills or certifications required for the role you desire. Maybe you're looking for a change and you're unemployed right now. Maybe you are employed but don't know how to get out of the career you're currently in. Employment services assist job seekers who fit into all of the above categories and beyond. So a little bit about how employment services in the community may assist you are that service providers offer employment programs across the GTA and the province. Each provider provides a wide variety of programs, including but not limited to Employment Ontario Employment Services, sector-specific bridging programs, and mentoring partnerships. The majority of programs are free of charge to job seekers in the community. During this unprecedented time, supports are provided virtually, depending on your location. Service providers may have opportunity for you to be having some in-person services, but that will depend on your location and the service provider. Virtual support during COVID means that regularly scheduled job search workshops and consultations are held via video conferencing, telephone, or email. With that being said, all supports you would be receiving are customized to suit your needs. There's no checklist or scripts that we use for each job seeker. Each journey is different, and the consultants you work with are going to be trained in ensuring your individual employment or retraining goals are attainable. These goals are met through goal planning and action plans that are easy to follow and can be changed. Service providers work with job seekers to ensure they are job ready. Job ready to some people means having a resume prepared and understanding how to job search. But what job readiness actually means is, if you were offered a job today, what do you need to have in place to begin tomorrow? This could be anything from care for dependents to transportation, to equipment needed for the role or certifications needed to be hired. Service providers assist with job readiness by using supports within existing programs or by connecting job seekers to referrals in the community that can assist with your needs. The ultimate goal is to assist job seekers in reaching their employment or training goals, and even when you get there, support does not stop. Continued support for individuals who have found employment or entered training is provided. The assurance of maintenance and retention in your role is a top priority to the community. If you could just go over to the next slide. Thank you. So programs and services vary depending on the provider that you are working with. All providers will have workshops, job developers, consultants, and resources for you to tap into. On top of that, there is always an opportunity to get connected with employers in the community through job fairs and information sessions. Information sessions, quite like this one, are a great way to connect with employers who you may not have been previously aware of, or you have been aware of but have not been able to connect to, who may support roles in the area of your interest. They're a great way to ask questions and network without the stress of a one-on-one interview. But rest assured, another great facet of working with a provider, staff are trained in providing support for interviews through guided interview preparation and mock interviews. There are dedicated employment programs for, but not limited to, youth, women, and individuals who are looking to increase their English language skills. For instance, the START Customer Care Program is a 9-week program which provides customer service training for women on Ontario Works who are looking to re-enter the workforce. It is a great opportunity to bridge your gap in employment, learn some new skills, hone in on existing skills, along with obtaining certifications that can assist in your job search. Lastly, one of the big benefits of working with a provider is the benefit of connecting to employers. Employers in the community work with providers to promote their roles and events and trust that providers are working on preparing job seekers for success in their role. Employers in your community work with providers to promote current and upcoming roles and initiatives, which in turn provide job seekers an extended view into the current labor market. This insight is invaluable. Wherever you are on your employment journey, employment services can help support and prepare you to re-enter the workforce or change careers, while providing you the opportunity to connect with great partners in the community, such as the TTC. Thank you so much for having me here today and inviting me to speak a little bit about employment services and for recognizing the importance and power of collaboration in the community. Of course, we're looking forward to continuing to work together. And for those that have further questions about employment services, you can reach me at the email listed on the screen, or I will read it out loud. pkirkpatrick@accessemployment.ca. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Pauline. So now is the time to hear from you. As mentioned at the beginning of the presentation, you can submit your questions via the Q&A feature. And we have been receiving quite a few questions as we've gone through the presentation. We've also received a few questions in advance of today that will be addressed as time permits. So as we have many people participating, if your question cannot be addressed during the webinar today, you will receive a direct response from TTC following the webinar. So before I turn it over to Nicole for the Q&A, for reading out some of the Q&A, the questions we've received, I'm going to start with one that we received in advance. So this question is, how old do you have to be to apply for this role? And I think Masa might be best to address that one.
Hi, Alicia. Sure thing. I can take that. So for the transit operator role, we require that you have a full G-class license and your grade 12 diploma. So as long as you are able to meet these requirements, you are eligible to apply.
Wonderful. Nicole, would you like to read off one of the questions that we are getting in the Q&A box?
Sure. We've gotten a few regarding mode and division. So Masa, I think you'd be the best person to answer this. Can I pick the mode, so subway, bus, streetcar, or wheel trans? And can I pick my location or division?
Thanks for that, Nicole. So typically, majority of our hires are for bus operations, and we place all our new hires depending on what our hiring requirements are. So when it comes down to selecting your division, again, they're assigned to you by TTC's requirements. We do try our best to assign you to a division closest to your home address. It's not a guarantee. However, you are eligible to apply for a system seniority transfer to change divisions after 6 months of service, but you cannot change your mode until 2 years of service. So, if you want to go from Wilson to Queensway or from Birchmount to Mount Dennis, you can do that at least once after 6 months of service.
Okay, great. Nicole, would you like to share another question?
Sure. I think this one's best suited for Marika. I have a couple people wrote in asking, what if I need or require an accommodation?
Hi there, sure. The TTC is committed to fostering a positive workplace culture one that is representative of the community it serves. And I've mentioned that a few times in my presentation. The TTC is definitely committed to the principles of diversity and inclusion, and it encourages participation from all job seekers. Accommodation is available for participants, including those with disabilities. There's an email address on our website, but I'll read it out now. There's also a phone number, again on the website, as well as on every job posting that we put up. The email address is jobs@ttc.ca, that's jobs@ttc.ca, and the phone number to call if you need accommodation would be 416-393-4570.
Okay, thank you, Marika. We have a question from a guy, and he says, I'm a guy, can I still apply for this? So I think Marika has been flagged for that one.
I'll take that one. Again, inclusion and diversity are what are my key focuses as my role on a day-to-day. This specific event, it's a special program that is intended to educate women about the transit operator job. This is an information session. It's not a hiring campaign. But once the position is posted, all applicants can apply, including males, non-cis, non-binary individuals. So everybody is encouraged to review the job posting and apply as they feel comfortable and feel that it is a good fit for them. Hope that answered the question.
Okay, that's great. Thank you. Over to you, Nicole.
We have another question here. I think it would be best suited for Massa. When do you expect the job to be posted?
So we're continuing to pivot and adjust to COVID-19, ridership and our trends. So it is something we're looking at our hiring requirements, and we hope to have the position posted in the near future to start hiring for our future requirements. We will definitely be able to email all the registrants a link with the posting once it's up and ready.
Okay, so this one is one that we also received in advance. What steps has the TTC made as of late to ensure that the safety of its workers during COVID-19? Marika, can you take that one?
Sure. In terms of safety measures during COVID?
Yeah, so to ensure the safety of workers, yeah.
Absolutely, no problem. It is paramount to everything we do here at the TTC. The TTC does have robust plans in place to keep customers and employees safe during the pandemic, but that's what we do on a day-to-day just because of the nature of our work. We have introduced multiple daily vehicle cleanings. We're deploying additional service to our busiest routes to reduce crowding. We have hand sanitizer available in stations and on streetcars. We continue to give away masks in stations and on bus networks, again, to make sure that the public is kept safe. Our employees are also provided additional support through the distribution of PPE, things like wipes, gloves, masks, sanitizer and eye protection, and protective shields. Our dedicated safety and environment department is a laser-focused group, and they are focused on employee health and safety throughout all workplaces. So this event is specifically focused on transit operator, but the same applies to folks that work in the offices. So we're provided with the necessary PPE and cleanliness measures and social distancing restrictions as the rest of the organization.
Okay, thank you, Marika. Nicole, how about another question from you?
I think this question would be great for Dawn. It's asking, what if I don't know or have any experience driving large vehicles like buses, streetcars, or subways?
Hey, I'm here. So our training department will ensure that you're able to operate the TTC mode that you've been placed into. The majority of our new hires have never operated a bus like me, a streetcar, or a subway before. We'll teach you.
Okay, thank you, Dawn. Nicole, another question from the attendees.
I think this question would be great for Pauline. It is, what if I don't have a resume or need help writing a resume to tailor to this position?
Absolutely, an employment service provider can help. That's one of the, I would say, main pillars of our expertise is helping individuals format their resume and tailor it to the role that they're looking for. And I guess good to mention, if you are looking for a service provider, you can click Google search employment service provider, and in your community, you will probably have quite a few that pop up. Do your research to see which is closest to you and which would be the most suited to you as well.
Okay, thank you. Nicole, how about another question? Nicole, are you muted?
Sorry about that. Here's another question. I think this would be great for Amanda or Elise. What are the shifts and how do I select off days as a transit operator?
So it's Elise here. So the shifts are 24/7. So it's there, you can choose morning shifts, afternoon shifts, late afternoon shifts, and you can choose your day. When you're choosing your shifts, you also choose your days off that works best for you. So let's say and it's every 6 weeks that changes. So for example, you pick, okay, I'm going to work nights this week because that best suits my life, and I'd prefer to have Monday, Tuesday off, which is my favorite because all the grocery stores are free and nobody's there. So you can choose Monday, Tuesday, and this event, and then maybe something special is happening next 6 months, and then you can choose a Friday, Saturday. So it's all day. Like you can choose morning, you can choose evening, you can choose night shift, whichever works best for you, and you can choose your days off when you're choosing your shifts. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Elise? I do have a question, and this one is an interesting one, maybe for Dawn. When and if potential conflict happens, the question is, any tips from the de-escalation perspective? But maybe you can, Dawn, maybe speak more about the conflict resolution or any training an operator would have in that setting.
Sure, I can do that. So part of the training the operators receive is how to avoid and handle conflicts. So I want them to understand that they also have the full support of Transit Control Center, which will provide support in real time. And this includes being able to escalate responses to get our special constables and even the police if necessary.
Thanks, Dawn. Nicole, how about back over to you?
I have a great question for Marika. Someone wrote in, how does the TTC support employee mental health?
Okay, that's a good question. The TTC has a number of resources and programs to support the mental health of all of our employees. Employee Family Assistance Program, or EFAP for short. It's confidential, it's voluntary, it's short-term support over the phone, in person, online, for a variety of different self-guided resources. And it's all included in our benefit plan. It's provided as coverage for psychological services, and it includes therapy and counseling. And pre-COVID and post-COVID, hopefully that's happening soon. It'll be back. There'll be an availability in person, face-to-face, if you wish, once we get to that safe stage. And we have partners in that, including an organization called Beacon, and that's an internet-based cognitive behavior therapy program. LifeSpeak expert blog, again, another support that is electronic, and you don't need to be in person to do it. You can access it online, but you're accessing expert advice on topics that matter to you. There are also numerous health and well-being campaigns and seminars that are held and supported by our occupational health department specifically. So a lot of things that are there to make sure that our employees are the utmost health when it comes to physical health, but also mental health is not forgotten at the organization. It is an utmost priority as well.
Thank you, Marika. Nicole, back over to you.
I think this question would be great for Massa. Someone's asking, do I need a special license to operate a TTC vehicle? Or sorry, to apply for operating a TTC vehicle?
Sure, it's a good question. You definitely don't. All that we require is for candidates to have a G license. All our training in-house will prepare you for the role and upgrade you to the license necessary for the mode that you're chosen for.
And Massa, just a question on the licensing. What if somebody doesn't have an Ontario license?
So that is a good question. I know the MTO will be able to convert your license to the Ontario equivalency. You may require a driver's abstract from your current province in order to do so, but you're eligible to apply with an out-of-province driver's license. We will require you to convert your license to Ontario before the recruitment drive to, be able to obtain the Ontario driver's abstract. For your pre-placement medical and also to obtain MTO clearance for a license upgrade to a CZ driver's license. So definitely you can apply, but you will have to go through the process to change it over to an Ontario driver's license.
Okay, thanks, Massa. Nicole, over to you.
I think this question would be great for Dawn. A couple people have written in saying that they already have a CZ license or a B license, and they want to know if they still need to go through the TTC training.
Yes, you still have to go through the training. Even though your license has been upgraded, you still have to go through the entire Operations Training Center training. Sorry.
Okay, thanks, Dawn. Nicole, do you have another?
Yeah, I think this one would be great for Amanda or Elise. Someone is asking, how many hours per week do you work as a transit operator?
Hi, Amanda here. I work so every time you choose work, it comes with a crew value, and I work about 46 hours a week, but you're guaranteed 40 hours. Thank you.
Thanks, Amanda. Anything that you want to add, Elise?
I could add that, yes, it is you're guaranteed 40 hours. I do work about 45 to 50 hours. And because it's a full-time position, there's no part-time, and because of that, it's a guaranteed 40 hours. That's it.
Okay, thank you. Nicole, how about another question?
This one would be good for Marika. How many women are in executive positions at the TTC right now?
I'm proud to say that we currently have 8 of the 14 executives that are women. So that's awesome. There wasn't that number a few years back. We're on the right track.
Thanks, Marika. Do you have another question, Nicole?
Yeah, a few people have been writing in. I think this is a great question for Massa. What if my education is from outside of Canada?
That's a really good question. So we ask that you have your education evaluated to find the Canadian equivalency, and there are companies out there to support you with this. So these include World Education Services, International Credential Assessment Service of Canada, or the Comparative Education Service. So working with these organizations, they can help you get the Canadian equivalency to make sure you have your grade 12 or your GED.
Okay, thank you, Masa. This is a question for maybe Marika. Are you only filling spaces for drivers? Are there other jobs for ticket operators or any other positions?
Well, we're now working with Presto, so the answer to the ticket operator is no. But in terms of other jobs, there are a wide range of jobs posted on our website that you can apply for. They're available. There are jobs on there now as we're here and we're speaking at this event. However, if you apply to the transit operator position, there is a lock-in period. So if you start as a transit operator, there's a lock-in for 2 years. After that, you can look to progress to other opportunities from this specific role that this event is focused on. But if you're interested in anything else, my recommendation would be to register to the website, create a profile, and select the option to get job notifications sent to you so that you can see those opportunities pop up. I think that's a good idea to do even after this event. And if you're interested in this specific job, this would be one of those things that you'd get a notification on, in addition to getting notification because you've registered and participated in today's event. So I'm just putting that out there on a broader sense.
Thanks, Marika. Nicole, how about another question from you?
I think this question would be great for Amanda or Elise. Someone's asking if the position is unionized and what does a union do?
So Elise here. Yes, the position is unionized, and we're with the ATU Local 113. And the main purpose of the union is to give workers the power of negotiation for more favorable working conditions and other benefits through the collective bargaining. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Nicole, another question from you.
So I think this question would be great for Masa. Someone's asking, how much does this position pay?
So you start out at $27.69 an hour. There is a 2-year progression, and once you've hit the 24-month part, then you'll upgrade to $36.16 per hour. But these rates are always negotiated with the union on an ongoing basis as well.
Okay, another question from you, Nicole.
I think this one would be good for Marika. What is the TTC's maternity leave program like? Is it just the government standard, or is there anything they offer that exceeds that?
We're striving to excel, so no, it's beyond. We exceed. Employees will be eligible to take a pregnancy leave in accordance to the government standards or the Employment Standards Act of up to 17 continuous weeks. TTC provides a pregnancy leave top-up benefit, and there's a need to qualify for the Employment Standards benefit under the Act. But if you do qualify, you can receive a top-up to a maximum of 15 weeks. TTC will pay a top-up equal to the difference between the EI maternity benefit plus any other earnings, and 85% of the employee's regular job base rate. So we go above and beyond clearly. After the 17 weeks, the employee goes on unpaid parental leave from the TTC. However, they are paid through EI if they qualify. So it's not just a standard bare minimum. We do go above and beyond because, again, we're trying to attract more gender diversity into the organization, and that's why we do it.
Thanks, Marika. Nicole, back over to you.
I think this question would be good for Masa. When do I get vacation?
That's always a question everybody wants answered. So I can confirm that after 1 year of service, you will be entitled to 2 weeks of vacation.
Great. Another question from you, Nicole.
I think this one would be good for Amanda or Elise. Do I have to pay union dues? If so, what is the cost?
Okay, I'll take it. I was giving Amanda. It's Elise here. So yes, you do have to pay union dues union dues are deducted from your weekly paycheck, which is pre-authorized. ATU 113 has a one-time initiative fee set up to begin the deductions 2 months after your date of hiring, which is about $50 per day, until the balance reaches about $500. And that has been effective since the 28th of June 2020. Operators have that. We get paid weekly. So yes, you do pay union dues. It's about $25.53 per paycheck. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Elise. Let's see. Nicole, another question from you.
Someone's asking, after this session, what are my next steps to apply for the TTC? I think this question would be best answered by Massa.
Sorry, I was just trying to unmute and turn my camera back on. Really good question. As I said earlier, we are going to monitor our hiring requirements. Once the position is posted, we can email everybody that's registered with a link to apply to the position. Furthermore, you can also create a profile on our jobs website and set up job alerts to notify you when the job is being posted.
Okay, thank you, Massa. Nicole, do you have another question?
Sure. I think this one's best for Pauline. Someone's asking if outreach programs can help individuals obtain their GED.
Yes, absolutely. So oftentimes employment service providers have a program called Employment Services, which is an Employment Ontario-based program. In that program, there are opportunities for individuals to receive training supports, and those training supports can help offset the cost of things like certifications or retraining. So if you did need to go back to school, there may be potential for you to have some of the cost covered there. If there was no cost associated, we do have referral resources in the community that we'd be able to set you up with. Yeah, I think that probably answers it.
Thanks, Pauline. Nicole, back over to you. Nicole,
I think this one's best for Massa. So after today, how long is the hiring process? Do you know when the position will be posted?
So again, we hope to have the posting up in the near future to fill future requirements. And once it's up, we take you through the application process. So just to give participants some background, the application steps are outlined in detail on our website, but in short, you're attending this information to learn about the job and what's required of you. We encourage you to create a TTC profile and set up job alerts. Once the position is posted, you'll get an email to either apply, and if we are proceeding with your application, you will be invited to a recruitment drive where you'll be given a cognitive ability assessment to complete and a written skills test. So once you pass this portion of the hiring process, you will be invited to an interview. And following the interview, we'll ask for your references, ask you to complete a job shadowing assignment where you'll have the opportunity to go on the vehicles, experience what it is in real life to be in the operator position, so you can observe our drivers on the job. Following that, we'll give you a conditional offer where you will have some pre-employment conditions to meet, to include your medical, your police check. We get your education cleared. And then after all that's completed, we'll put you in a holding pool until we have a training class available for you to start in.
Okay, thank you, Massa. We've got some more questions coming in, so I'll turn it back over to Nicole.
I think this question would be great for Amanda or Elise. Someone's asking, what is the biggest challenge of learning how to operate different transit modes, especially coming from smaller vehicles?
Hi, it's Amanda here. When I was learning to drive the bus, my biggest challenge was the blind spots. There are many, and when I was learning how to drive, it really just feels like you're driving your car because you don't see the length of it. But when you start to see, like, in the doors, there's, like, the black strip, and, like, in the mirror, it's kind of, it is a big learning curve because you don't realize that things can hide behind that. So that affects the safety. But that pretty much is, like, the biggest thing. It's, like, kind of like the safety around operating the vehicle. And that was my biggest challenge.
Elise, do you have a challenge that you'd like to share?
Actually, I would tag on to what Amanda says. You have to be very diligent in paying attention to what's at the side of your vehicle. But because everything, all the training that was given to me by the TTC, I applied it, it really didn't make it all that difficult for me. But if I would say the most challenging thing that I face, it's not actually the bus itself, it's the traffic, road conditions, and pedestrians making last-minute choices. So just stay focused, don't daydream, and just pay attention to what's around you continuously. And the length of the bus is nothing like Amanda says. It just feels like you're driving in your car. Thank you.
Thanks, Elise. So we're just at 2:36. We still have more time, and we do have lots of questions in. For those of you who are at home, we're working our way and scrolling through almost 700 comments in the Q&A feature. So as I've mentioned before, if we don't see your question and don't address it today, you will get a response directly from the TTC after the event. So don't worry whether we answer it now or later, your question will get answered. But I'm going to turn it over to Nicole to see if she has one that we can address now.
I think this question would be great for Elise or Amanda. Someone's asking how you manage having kids while working.
Elise here. So it's for me managing kids working, it's like I said in my earlier speech, it's learning how to compartmentalize. I have two biological sons, 2 bonus sons, and apart from that, I also before the border was closed, I also go to New York to help take care of my mom, who hasn't been well for a few years. So it's really important to learn to compartmentalize what's most important. I guarantee you can do it. You've got this. It's just prioritizing what's most important, what shift works best for my lifestyle, and how to go about doing it, leaving things in place. But you will figure it out as time goes. I don't think that you can't. You can, and it will just fall into place. Everything will fall into place. It's just learning how to compartmentalize what's most important. Thank you.
Thanks,
Hi.
Elise. Go ahead, Amanda. I was just going to ask if you wanted to add on to that.
Yeah, absolutely. So in my current situation, well, a little prior to, I was a single mother, and I thank God for my mother, because without my mother, it would be extremely difficult. So I have my mom, and from time to time, because my children are young, I have a 2-year-old or 2.5-year-old and a 4-year-old, and I really just take advantage of the shifts. Right now I'm working a late relief where I can drop my daughter to school, I can pick her up, and my mom helps me with my son. And we also have compressed shifts. So I've been looking at that for a little while, whereby I work the week and I get 3 days off. And it's kind of just, it's going to be challenging. I mean, having children in general is challenging when you have any type of job. But the flexibility has really allowed me to kind of like figure out, like Ms. Elise said, how do I prioritize different aspects of my life to kind of fit in. And if you are in a crunch, I've been in situations whereby I had to go through internally and have an accommodation, and they were willing to do that. So at the end of the day, it's going to be difficult with children, especially if you have young children, but it's not impossible.
Thanks, Amanda. Nicole, back over to you.
I think this question would be good for Massa. Someone's asking for more information regarding the pension.
Sure. So TTC offers a mandatory pension for full-time regular employees of 6 months of service. So you make contributions based on your salary, and the organization matches that contribution. So these are automatically deducted from your weekly pay. It's pre-authorized. And when you're eligible for retirement, there is a defined benefit formula based on your contributions that would be paid out to you monthly.
Okay, thank you, Massa. Nicole, do you have another question?
Yeah,
Nicole, you might be muted.
Okay. Yeah, so, does TTC supply PPE? I think this one's a good one for Marika.
Hi there, back again. As I kind of touched on in my first response to being just COVID prepare and safety in general, yes, the TTC does provide PPE. Again, things like wipes, gloves, hand sanitizer, masks, eye protection, protective shields, not only for transit operators, but for all employees. Again, I'll repeat because it is key. We are dedicated to a safe working environment, and we want it to be safe for our customers as well. And at the end of the day, we want people to come to work, in peace, healthy, safety, and return home the same way they came to work. So that's for all employees across the board. So the short answer is yes, but it's beyond the transit operator job. It's for all employees.
Okay, thank you, Marika. Okay, we're going to take another few questions. So, Nicole, is there one that hasn't been addressed today?
We have someone asking about driver's abstract. So, Massa, what is a driver's abstract?
So online at ontario.ca website or any MTO office, they can provide you with this document. This driver's abstract outlines any offences or demerit points that you've gained within the last 3 years of your driving record. I do believe you can get one for the last 5 years, but as part of the application process, we only require one for the last 3 years.
Okay, we'll take another couple questions. So, Nicole, anything else that we have there?
I think this one's good for Amanda or Elise. Someone is asking, how do you sign up for your shift?
Okay, I'll take it. Schedule. So before your 6 weeks, your schedule is posted. What are the routes that's going to go into the other 6 weeks? So at the division, every division, it's a different sign-up period for your division. So they'll post the dates that you will be signing up according to your badge and according to your seniority. So everybody don't rush in there. Say, for example, my division has almost 500 employees. So in that case, they'll pick like an entire week, and from a certain badge to a certain badge, we'll pick that day until the week is over, but according to your seniority before. So you have enough time to know what you're doing ahead. You have enough time to know in advance, weeks in advance, what your upcoming weeks will look like. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Elise. So I've noticed that we are, participants are starting to drop off the call, and I think we do have some final important information that we want to provide to people. So I think we're going to wrap up the Q&A very shortly. Why don't we take one more, unique question, if you've got one there, Nicole, and then we'll turn it to the panel, and then we'll wrap it up and head over to Marika so she can provide the information that we want to share at the end. So one more question from you, Nicole.
I think this one would be good for Pauline. Someone is saying that they haven't had an interview in a very long time and what they should do to prepare and kind of calm their nerves or anxiety regarding it.
That's very tough because it depends on what part of it is making you nervous or anxious. So what I can say is rehearsing. I myself, knowing I was going to be speaking today, rehearsed 3 or 4 times with various people that I knew that were supportive, that were going to give me feedback that would help me. So you want to connect with people who are going to be honest, and when you are providing your answers, are able to say, here's how you can make that a little bit better. Practice makes perfect. Being comfortable talking about yourself and acknowledging that when you're speaking about all the great things that you know how to do and the experience that you have, that is exactly what the interviewer wants to hear from you. There are opportunities to connect to some great resources online for interview skills. So you might want to check those out if you have access to YouTube. If you are interested in connecting to a service provider, there's an opportunity to have mock interviews where you'll be able to have an interview without any expectation. So there is no end game there. The person on the other line is not going to say, not for you this time. This opportunity is not going to you. They're going to guide you on how to be successful.
Thank you so much, Pauline, for those tips. And thank you, Nicole, for sifting through all the comments and questions and summarizing them here. And thank you to the panel for responding to them. And for all of you who have asked a question and it wasn't addressed today, please don't worry. You will get a response from the TTC following today's event. We have your names and can respond directly. So. And if you do have questions following the event that you think of after you've signed off, then please email them to jobs@ttc.ca. So I'm going to turn it over to Marika now to offer some closing remarks and a bit more information.
Thanks, everybody, for attending this event. This has been awesome. It's been awesome for me as well. I hope that you got the information that answered your questions, and I hope that we inspired you to consider a career at the TTC in a job that can be very rewarding and quite fulfilling, as you heard from the transit operators that spoke today. And as you heard from all of us, and the reason we're all here, the transit operator role or position can lead to a dream career. It's a career that will either inspire you to remain there until you retire, because we do have operators that we hire on. They don't want to leave. They don't want any other job except the one they're doing. Or it can be a stepping stone for you to follow your dreams or choose your own career path. One of the things you see on the slides right now is a listing of some of the jobs that we're currently recruiting for. So again, I mentioned this earlier, but I'll repeat it because it is important. Our website does include jobs that are currently posted, and ttc.ca/jobs is where you can learn even more. All the current jobs that are listed on there will include these ones here. These are temporary positions, and we call them seasonal maintenance positions. They typically will begin hiring, or if you do apply for any of these positions listed, you would start working in April, roughly, March or April, and those positions go until the fall of 2021. In 2021, I'll be honest with you, typically 95 to 98% of the folks hired on through this process, they do become full-time employees if they choose to remain in the job that they're working in. So you see us listed here, heavy-duty cleaner, janitor, construction laborer, landscaper. Those are some of the jobs, and they're very distinct. They all have temporary in front of them when you look at the job board that we have on our website. Again, I can't stress this enough either. It is important to register to the website, again, ttc.ca/jobs. And when you register, there is an option where you can select to get new notifications of jobs that come out as they come available. One thing that I don't think has been mentioned today is that when we do post jobs, typically the posting stays up for a couple of weeks. For transit operator, when we do post it, it will stay up a lot longer than that. We've had it stay up for a year, 6 months, a few years. So depending on our hiring requirements, as Masa mentioned, that'll determine how long we keep the posting up. But again, you don't want to miss it. You don't want to miss other opportunities. Register, register, register. I can't stress that enough. Thanks again for your time, and I'm sending well wishes to you and your loved ones. Please stay safe and healthy during these very challenging times. We're going to get through this, everybody.
Thank you, Marika. Thanks, Marika. And I will just reiterate that for everyone who missed part of the session or didn't get their question answered, one, the answers will be sent to you following the event, and also there will be a recording available of the event today. It might take a couple days to get processed and up on the site, but we will have a recording for you of the event today. So on behalf of the TTC and their outreach partners, I would like to thank you all for attending this Women as Transit Operators information session. Have a great rest of your day. Bye-bye.